Hello, my name is Rob, the Ignorant Entrepreneur, and today I wanted to give my current understanding of the NFT space and where I believe the value lies for the future. So real quickly, simply how I would explain an NFT is an NFT is authenticated through a blockchain as a one-of-a-kind digital asset. And the way I'm looking at NFTs are as largely as passes or keys, access to information that you wouldn't otherwise have. So you have this NFT, it's able to authenticate that you have like an official copy of that NFT, and you might get special privileges in like a Discord group. And so one of the NFTs that I had that I was put on by Hoke Hustles you can find him on Twitter at Hoke Hustles, was the Champs Pass. And sort of how this works, you can kind of see here on OpenSea, they have this one item, and right now that's what it's trading at. And if we go into the Discord, and I go here into the Champs channel, I guess you would call it, or server, you're able to see they've got quite a bit of information, and you can enter these raffles. So you can see here there's actually a new raffle that I can enter, and these raffles are for whitelist. And so for those of you that are unfamiliar with whitelist, they're essentially just ways to get into like a project pre-sale. So if you're in a project pre-sale, you're able to get in at a cheaper price than like a public launch for the NFT. And it actually affords you an opportunity because a lot of these projects, they'll give you some time to allow, like they have a set amount of spots that they'll give. So it's not like first come, first serve. Although in a lot of projects, they just manage it very terribly. So there'll be looping and people are just taking away those spots. But typically those spots are set. And you're able to see after they allow you to get it from like the whitelist, you're able to see on OpenSea what it's going to be trading at. So in other words, I don't think I worded that really well. And otherwise, you're able to see what it's trading for before you actually buy it. So if the whitelist price is lower than the OpenSea price, it might make sense for you to buy it so you can just go ahead and quickly flip it on the OpenSea market. And of course, on OpenSea, you'll be able to see things like how often it's selling and, its activity, things like that. So, yes, again, this Champs only NFT is serving as a key to get into this, to get into these raffles and ultimately get into these whitelists that will help me trade or get a quick profit. And I actually had my first success this past weekend with a project that I was able to sell. And it was called Courage. And so I had a whitelist for that. And I took some screenshots that I can share here with you guys. So this was a setup. You can actually see the date and everything like that when they were ready for people to get their NFT. And, I went onto the site and actually everyone was able to mint 2 of the NFTs. And so I actually put them out. So I was able to mint the NFTs at a price of, and it doesn't show here, but it was like 0.07. And you're able to see that I was able to sell, or I at least listed these for double the price. And so yeah, that was actually me whitelisting and getting 2, and I said it was like 0.07, so it was a little cheaper than that. You see, for 2 I was able to get them for just about 0.14. And this is just in general, these were what the NFTs were selling for, and I was actually able to sell mine. Yeah, here's the actual sale. So you can actually see that I was able to sell both of these to this user and this user. And you're probably looking at the NFT like it's all the same thing. That's because they haven't revealed it yet. So a lot of times the NFT projects, they'll release the spots and then they'll do like a reveal later on to kind of keep in anticipation for the project. And so, but yeah, that was, you're able to see that I was able to turn 0.138 into 0.37. Of course, I had zero point 0.2 in to start with, so I guess what is that? 0.06 was I already had, but the rest of it is just profit. So that was one of the success stories that I had. But something that I want to bring light to, and I think people should know, is also there's a very inconsistent side to the NFT market right now. And the con was, how I mentioned earlier, you can have whitelist spots, but in some projects they're just not really done well. And they're like ways that people can mint more than they're supposed to. This was such a project where that happened. And here's their little apology, but I had a whitelist, and the project did really well to start with. I'm not really sure what it's at now because I don't care, because I couldn't get in. And a lot of people just took away the whitelist spots that I was supposed to be guaranteed and promised from the project. So the project literally didn't deliver what they said they were going to for their whitelist. And another experience that I have is with Bull Market Girlfriends, which was actually my first real win in the space. So, well, not my first real win. I'd sold an NFT prior to that. These were some screenshots I took of Bull Market Girlfriends. And this was actually me winning. So the way Bull Market Girlfriends works... Okay, so they actually have their little process of everybody enters and you bid at 0.15, and if you win, you get to purchase it at that 0.15 price. Of course, I did end up winning. And this was, you guys can see I use the same name for my channel. And so... I was able to win. Oh, that's just people commenting on the win. I was excited. And the floor price, so mind you, I was able to buy in at 0.15, but the floor price is 2.35. And even if we go into the project now, whoa, you see it's at 0.88. So I was able to sell mine for 0.65. So the floor price wasn't even accurate because I couldn't... I may have been the last one to sell. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, so here I am. 0.65. This was 12 days ago. So I wasn't even able to sell at that 2 floor price. It actually went for much less, but still a pretty amazing flip, right? As I tripled the money that was put in. I wanted to bring this up because it lets you guys know the importance of raffles in the NFT spaces. I mean, you've seen all these. What's the recurring theme that you're seeing with getting into these projects? It's raffles. And that's how it's done on Twitter. If you look at any of the Twitter pages for NFTs, it's all raffle oriented. We even have at Hoke Hustles, which I mentioned before. He's a friend of mine. He's been able to build his account recently, and he just shot up from, what was it, like 10,000 to 30 over the past like month or two, because he's been doing these little promos like, oh, follow me in this other project, like and retweet, tag your friends, and you'll get access to this project. And, I've been supporting him, of course, but that's how he's been building his account. So the NFT space is built off of raffles. All right. And this is like bull market girlfriends. You see, like, the whole big push with NFTs is that they're going to integrate into the metaverse at some point. And so I thought this was pretty cool, actually. You're actually able to see the bull market girlfriends exhibit, shall I say. And they've got a lot of the releases here. which I imagine at some point, at some time in the future, there'll be people you're able to interact with them, things like that, when the metaverse becomes what people envision. So there is that. At the same time, so there's the really cool aspect to it, right? At the same time, how do you verify these projects? And I do want to get into that, but I'll get into that a little later in the video, because there's something really important that you need to see about this bull market girlfriends example. Like beyond, so they have a nice little site. They've obviously invested some money into it, but how are you actually able to verify the people that are in the project? What's their long-term goal? The space is still so new. We don't know if these projects are going to last, and ultimately the value of these projects. If the price of bull market girlfriends goes below 0.15, what's the point of entering a raffle? You could just go on OpenSea and purchase it. But we'll touch back on that a little bit later. I wanted to talk about Vive, which I really don't like, but they have partnerships with Marvel, and they actually offer a marketplace for licensed digital collectibles, including brands such as Marvel, DC, Disney, Star Wars, Givenchy, Coca-Cola, Pixar, and some others. And I really don't like them because they took my money and they haven't given it back. Their payment policy is, I encourage you heavily to read up on it. I'm thinking I'm about to reach out to my bank and just say, hey, look, these people are not allowing me to withdraw the cryptocurrency that I use to purchase their projects. So it's like, even if you get into it, how are you moving your money out? You're not. So that's kind of whack, but they do these little releases Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So, it is a way to get into these projects, and perhaps you can flip them. I haven't had a great experience with them, of course, because I just told you I can't withdraw my money from there. So I don't mess with them. And plus, bots are in all those releases. So it's like, you don't really have a fair shot to win it right now, because bots are just running the market. It's still so new that they haven't came up with countermeasures. Same with the shoe space. There's still a lot of bots. It's like a cat and mouse thing where they're knocking down, making certain patches, and people are trying to get past those to get shoes. But you're not really getting a fair chance to get them, because they're all sold out in the first second, every copy of the NFT. So, yeah, I wanted to briefly mention them. I don't like them. I don't recommend them, but they are in the space. And then I also wanted to bring up these emerging companies like Palm NFT, and how they're collaborating with a lot of these companies that don't really understand the space yet, and they're just providing that foundation for the companies to be able to touch into this hype that's happening. And this is a prime example of pure hype, because this was something where if you had set up an account with DC Universe, I think this was for their comics, you were able to get these NFTs. But if you check it, and I actually reached out to support, so I got these NFTs, right? I can't do a thing with them. I can't send them anywhere. I can't sell them. They're just stuck here. So it's literally just the NFT, just for the NFT. Of course, with the hype in the space, you just have companies that are in it just for the hype. That's it. They don't believe in it at all. And this was a prime example of that. So that brings me back to bull market girlfriends. There needs to be better checks and balances in the space, and this is why. So there's some things that we need to look at, and that's obviously the legality of this, because right now I think they're skating by. I'm not sure what the tax laws or rules are for it. Similarly to crypto, how everything's very new. They've now hopped on crypto, and they've given us rules. We got to report it and everything like that. But the NFT space, they're still largely skating by, because they're essentially crowdfunding projects where they're getting a bunch of people to invest in the NFTs that they're releasing, and they're using that money to promise, we'll have a space in the metaverse, we'll do this, you'll have access to that, yada yada yada. So that needs to meet legislation, of course. And then back to bull market girlfriends, verifying project members. This is actually an article about the bull market girlfriends, and Vice.com, whatever that is. They talk about the artists, right? Christina K, Chris K, and her husband Martin Lavoie, right? These are the people that have apparently created this NFT. So what happens when I search these people's names? I get a Martin Lavoie. I'm not sure if this is the Martin Lavoie here or, where Christina K is. That's not even her real name. It's an alias. I'm only able to confirm oh, this isn't even her. Let's see. I do know that there is a bull market girlfriend. Okay. So I'm only able to confirm the social media accounts of these people. I'm not actually able to confirm their identities. So at the same reason as the same token as this says this is by Christina K and Martin Lavoie, I don't know who these people are. I don't even know if they're even real. Like, how do we verify that this is the Martin Lavoie that's working on Bull Market Girlfriends? From what I see, I have nothing tying him to that project whatsoever. So I don't know if this is the right guy. I have no idea. There's no checks and balances in the space. You don't know who is actually working on that. And that's actually a problem of the internet, right? In a lot of cases, how do you verify somebody is who they say they are? Yeah, I mean, you can look at different projects. One of the things that Hoke Hustles has told me to look for has been sales volume and some of those tangible factors you can measure, because you're not going to really be able to verify people's identity. You can look at sales volume, but not be tricked by sales volume, because burner accounts can be used for people to purchase their own work. And so, I mean, let's even just do some math here. Okay, so the activity over the last 90 days, we look at it all time. We see these spikes, right? And obviously, like, the dips are when they're doing the raffles. So that's when someone wins and they're able to, get that raffle. So that's to be expected. But we can actually see at one point the average price of one of these NFTs, or one of them actually was able to sell for, yeah, this is actually the average, 16 ETH. Okay, if we look at the all-time volume and the all-time average price, and we times, so that'd be 470 times 2, right? And I'll just take the exact numbers. You'll see where I'm going with this in a moment. So let's take these two values. Whoops. And we get 955. So 955 times the price of Ethereum today. What in the heck is that? Okay. This would be the number of sales in US dollars that bull markets has reached, right? So if we're like thinking of a stock and we're thinking of market cap, which it's not really the same thing, but this is the amount of sales that have occurred in bull market, right? So we're looking at almost 3 million. That's, for a project, for a company, that's not a lot of money, right? I mean, it's not so crazy to think that anybody could just, who has 3 million, could just purchase their own NFTs and make it look like it has a lot of volume, when in actuality, they're just trying to sucker people into buying the NFT. So you get what I'm alluding to. It's like, you got to look at these projects and do the math. Like, are these projects, do they have a few $1 million in volume, or do they have, I don't know, what's NFT punks? What's like the big one? Yeah. I think these are, no. CyberKongs. Right. CyberKongs, okay, you don't even have to do the math. You know for a fact that, okay, they've traded 54,000. The average price is 10 ETH. I mean, it's legitimate. But just that to say, that's something that you might not even think of unless you were investing in stocks and things like that. Bull markets is a penny stock. Cyberkongs would be like your regular blue chip stock. That goes on to like verifying projects. The other concern with projects released in the past year or two are consistent declines in the OpenSea floor price, which pretty much every project I've seen has had consistent declines over the past 2 years. I believe these blue chips, they might be slightly different. Like, right, we're able to see that this has like pretty much stayed fairly consistent after increasing, after its initial increase. But if we go to something like, I don't know, we can pick a random one. Bull Run Babes, that just happened to pop up. Okay. We look at their all-time activity. You're going to see that it started out high and then it dropped over time to now it's almost like it's getting to the point where it could almost be worthless, 0.01 ETH. But that's a common theme that I'm noticing in the NFT space. Only the exceptional ones that I'm seeing are actually going up or maintaining. So, I mean, just even imagine, are you holding on to these projects for 5-10 years? What's happening? Are the majority of them going to zero, or the majority of them, or even, half or a quarter, are they going up? Like a stock would. So that's my main concern with the space, is how are they going to perform 5-10 years from now? We're seeing businesses give into the hype. We're seeing people give into the hype. They're buying projects. But a lot of these like white lists that I mentioned earlier, the name of the game is to get in quick, sell. You might want to buy into that project if you see that it's selling higher on OpenSea, but that flip might happen in a day. Or you may, think, oh, when it goes public, it's going to go even higher, so maybe you might hold on for a little bit. But you're selling these, you're getting into these projects not because you believe in what they're going to provide for the metaverse. A lot of cases, you're getting into them solely due to the fact that you know that you can flip it quickly. Which begs the question, are these projects going to increase in value over the mid to long term? And I don't think so. I think that a lot of these projects aren't going to be based in the metaverse. They're going to have difficulty setting up. They're going to have difficulty retaining people past these initial events. They're really just trying to find, how can we keep an audience like a Nike or an Apple? And I don't think they have the resources or the bandwidth online to really do so. So that's been my experience with the NFT space. I'm by no means an expert. I have made some sale. All my transactions in the NFT spaces have been wins. So that I can tell you. I've been working with at Hoke Hustles, who's been very enthusiastic in the space, helped me get my first NFT, helped me get this. He actually lent me this pass, the alpha pass that I showed you at the beginning, called Champs Only. And yeah, I've had it for about 2 months, and only just now I've won a raffle. I won 2 raffles. I won this raffle, which turned out to be a dud because they messed up. I wasn't able to mint it. And this one that I was actually able to mint, I doubled in profit. But if we look at it now, what is it now? Oh no, this isn't it. This is it. Wow. There we have it. You know what I mean? It's and I don't know if it's going to go back up again. I know one of the other NFTs that I had that I didn't even know I had until later was a project called Meerkat. Nope, this ain't it. That's another thing, man. How are you finding these projects? Unreal. You got so many different copycats just messing it up for everybody. I don't really want to do this right now. But yes, it is the Meerkat Millionaire Country Club. And I was able to sell out at around 6. And so these prices are actually holding up fairly good. but not so good when you consider that they were around 40 at one point, 40 ETH per one of these. So they took a dive. That has been my experience in the NFT space. Thank you for watching this. Again, this has been the Ignorant Entrepreneur. Let me know about your experiences and if you have any further questions that I might can assist you with. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been the Ignorant Entrepreneur. I don't know how many times I said that. This has been the Ignorant Entrepreneur. I'm out.